Welcome. What is up, you useless fucks? Shout out to Bo Burnham for that special intro tagline, I guess. Yes, that is completely plagiarized, and you know what? I don't give a shit. Welcome to Mates Rates Podcast, episode 30. Holy heck, we are back here 2 weeks in a row. Who would have thought? Not me, that's for sure. But anyways, thanks everyone so much for checking out the last episode and for giving me such a nice warm welcome back into the podcast space. I'm very grateful for everyone sticking around and listening to a dude in his late 20s rambling. And yeah, I'm keen to keep this shit going, keep this train going. So let's do some housekeeping. Let's get that shit out of the way first. So, if you're listening to this on iTunes, I appreciate if you give it a 5-star rating. This podcast is also available on Spotify. They don't have a rating system. Don't know why. Don't care, really. But yeah, if you're listening on the audio platforms, I appreciate ya. And I also have YouTube. Obviously, I've got this video thing going because, that's my job. And I thought, why not film my weird face just talking for like 45 minutes every single week? So if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. I've decided I'm going to go ham on this podcast. I realize that this podcast is what I like. It's what I love doing. I have a lot of fun sitting here every week and talking random shit with you and the people who care about this podcast. So with that in mind, I'm going to be doing clips on TikTok. I know. Whew, look at this old fella getting in with the new tech, as well as doing like the Instagram clips and all that type of shit. And I have an email address as well. The last thing, I have an email address as well, and it's matesratespod@gmail.com. Now, I've said in the past, just send me an email, but I haven't really given you guys a reason to send me an email, okay? So, this is what's happening from now on. Some exciting exclusive news here. I'm doing a new segment, and the segment is called Why Are You the Way That You Are? Okay. Each week, I'm going to find something online that I just think is bizarre, weird, wacky, funny, whatever. And I'm going to, just do some social commentary on it and just have some fun. Okay. A lot of these podcasts that you're seeing, they're doing the whole like, oh, am I the asshole Reddit reads? That's just lazy. And this is essentially that. So technically I am being lazy, but I'm not just reading off the subreddit. I'm just finding something and then just renaming it myself. Isn't that what we all do now as artists? We don't really, nothing's original. Nothing matters anymore. Anyways, let's get into this episode after I take this sip of water because I had a bit too much go-go bean juice today and not enough water. Anyways, what an intro that was. Ladies, gentlemen, gays, theys, and everything in between. So, what has been happening in the whole week and a half that I haven't been doing this podcast? Well, not much really. Let's be real. Currently still in lockdown, but I thought I'd kind of give you a little update on what's happening on the Canada side of things. So, had a little bit of a hiccup with our flight, just a small one. Apparently, flights are really hard to get. Now, flight got cancelled. We had to rebook, but it's all good. We got a full refund, which I'm mind blown about. I thought they'd be like, haha. Suck shit, we got your money, you dickhead. Now you have to fork out more. But got a full refund, which is great. Got an apartment, which is really cool. We're just finalizing that at the moment. It's kind of right in the middle of Vancouver in the hustle and bustle, which is really exciting. And I think that's kind of it as like a little Canada update. Anyways, I'm just trying to think. Has there been any other updates? No, not really. But thank you for everyone that has given us a lot of love about our move to Canada. We're very excited. There is this element of, oh God, like I feel kind of guilty because I understand that, we're in lockdown and it's going to be like this for a while. We've kind of got this golden ticket out. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? Nah, fuck that. Like, I'm taking a victory lap for ourselves. Like, we deserve this, I guess. So Anyways, yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Anyways, I'm just making sure that I'm still recording this podcast because I'm still waking up a little bit, and I probably should have eaten before I had coffee because now I'm kind of like freaking out and I'm not concentrating right. Anyways, something else that I forgot to mention in the last episode, because sometimes when I'm doing these things, like I make all these notes and I'm like, yo, I don't need to talk about this. But then it gets to like the half hour mark. I'm like, no, this is going for too long. This can wait for the next episode. This is one of those instances. So about like a month ago, Caitlin and I went to the dentist. Now, I haven't been to the dentist both of us, we haven't been to the dentist in a long time. I think the last time I was at the dentist was when I was like 16, 17, so like 12, 13 years ago, which is a scary thought to think about. And within that time, like, as a teenager, I was fine. Like, yeah, you have the occasional beer on the weekends, at a house party or whatever, but I feel like I was kind of taking care of my teeth very well. But the problem is, pretty much not long after I went to my last dentist appointment, I picked up smoking and like drank shitloads of coffee and energy drinks and like for all these years and just ate shitty food as well for years and years and years. I was like fearing it. I was like, fuck, here we go. They're going to need to like rip out all my teeth and start again. But surprisingly, the dentist had nothing but good things to say. He's like, they're just a bit dirty because you haven't been to the dentist in like 13 years. Something like sidebar, I guess. One of the last times, not one of the last times, but I remember like terms of like my first dentist appointment that I do remember as a child was when 9/11 was happening. It's like really random, I guess, but I just remember that because I remember like all day, every TV, and it was funny because I was just talking to one of my really old friends about this. Shout out to Matt and B. I love you guys. So I grew up with this guy Matt and went to primary school together and blah blah blah. And we were actually just talking about 9/11 because I was like, oh wait, we were in the classroom together when it was happening, and we remembered like the teacher wasn't really talking during the class. Like I don't even remember like much being taught during that class, but I remember they had this tiny little TV and it was just playing 9/11 all fucking day. And like as like a child, how old was I? I don't know, like 9 or 10 when 9/11 happened. I was kind of like I couldn't really wrap my head around it. Anyways, yeah, I went to the dentist that afternoon and I just remember sitting in the dentist in the waiting room, same thing, TV, just 9/11 all day. That's all it was playing, all fucking day. Anyways, yeah, so that's one of like the last dentist appointments I kind of can remember. So anyways, went to the dentist and everything was fine. Like it was weird because they have to take photos of your teeth and they display it like right in front of your fucking face, so you can just see the filth and disgust, all the shit that you've done, like all the past mistakes. It's kind of like, I don't know, if you get like a rap sheet or something like that and they just put it in front of your face, you're like, look what you've done, you disgusting person. Ugh. Anyways, so that was very confronting, very traumatic, as you can tell by my the way that I'm describing the scenario. And they get to cleaning it. Now, fuck, man, like, again, like, people listening to this, they probably aren't as stupid as I am, and they probably do take care of their teeth, so they're probably like, what the fuck you want about, man? But, like, stop being a bitch about it. But I remember laying back, and they're just cleaning my teeth. They've got, like, the drill and shit in there, and for those who don't know, throughout all my years of being in the music industry, I've got hearing loss, I've got tinnitus, like, it's fucked. And that was the scariest moment of my life because you hear like all the drilling in your mouth and it just echoes into your head. And because of my shit hearing, like it kind like sometimes it does trigger my anxiety, and it was getting very close to that point of having a fucking full on panic attack because I couldn't like figure out why it was just bouncing between my ears. And scariest fucking, the whole time I was just laying there, I was like, oh, fuck. Just the whole time. And it was funny because I feel like the dentist would have been like, oh, is it like hurting your teeth, me cleaning it type thing? And I'm like, no, bro, I'm just having a fucking full-on meltdown in my head. Thanks, I appreciate you, bro. They should set up like psychologist appointments like in the next room, so you can kind of go in there and just debrief after, you know, getting your fucking mouth drilled and having a full-on PTSD attack. Anyways, that was a very interesting, traumatic, and expensive experience. So that's like the most annoying thing about dentists as well. Actually, this dentist was good. He wasn't trying to like sell us shit, but they're always like, oh, let's book you in again for like, 2 months time. I'm like, bro, this cost me like $300. Okay, what makes you think that I'm gonna come back in a couple of months and spend another $300? Fuck, no wonder dentists are rich as fuck. I'm in the wrong industry. Then again, I'm too dumb to be a dentist. Anyways, speaking of being dumb, let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, everyone's hot topic at the moment, vaccines. Anyways, so for those who don't, well, I think I mentioned in the last episode, Kayla and I are vaccinated. We'll be fully vaccinated by the time we get to Canada, because we don't want to do hotel quarantine because it costs so much money. Plus, we want to get vaccinated because we don't want to die of COVID. So if you're wondering my stance on it, I'm pro-vax, okay? So this is me going on about me being an idiot because I'm fucking stupid, okay? I'm not going to question scientists. That people dedicate their whole lives to science. I'm too dumb. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, okay, this vaccine's going to save me? Sure, go ahead. I can just see the anti-vaxxers just seething right now. They're like, and that's why you're a sheep. And that's why you're a sheep, because, you don't do your own research. No, because I couldn't be fucked doing my own research, okay? So I'm going to say this, all right? I'm pro-vax, but I'm also pro-choice. Now, pause before anyone starts getting divided. Okay, let me explain. If you don't want to get the vaccine, that's totally fine. Okay, I totally understand and respect your decision if you don't want to get the vaccine. But don't be surprised if society just wants to move on without you. We're all like, yo, dude, the last 2 years have been fucked. All right, let's get this shot. Let's get this show on the road, okay? I want to go back to the movies. I want to go to shows. I want to do this and that. I want to do activities. So I'm definitely getting it because I don't want to fucking die. So in Vancouver, because they're starting to see a surge in cases, obviously mainly in unvaccinated people, they are implementing a vaccine passport. So they're like, yep, you need this to go to cafes, bars, gigs, sporting events, whatever, So, and here's the thing, right? I'm just going to say it. If you don't want to get the vaccine, you're a bit of a bitch. Okay, it's a bit of a bitch move to not get the vaccine because you're just like, what? Oh, you think you're too cool? You think you're above it to get the shot? No, you're just being a little bitch. Furthermore, you're even more of a bitch if you are against the vaccine passports. This is all that's going to happen when the vaccine passport is implemented. Hi, I'd like to dine here tonight, please, with me and my partner or my family. That's fine. Do you have your vaccine passport? Yep. Here it is. Okay, cool. Welcome. Thank you. Yep. No worries. Take a seat. That's it. It's not like this crazy infringement on your rights. They just want to make sure that you're good, dude. That's it. So it's a bit of a bitch move if you're not for those types of things. I can just see the end effect. Oh, this is like Nazi Germany. They're trying to, next thing you know, they're going to take you to the camps and they're going to gas you to death. No, it's not that deep, bro. You're just being a bit of a bitch. Just saying. Anyways, have fun with that comment section, and I'm going to be interested to see if if that's going to boost my numbers or lessen it. We'll find out, So, speaking of anti-vaxxers, come on, man. It's funny. If you're an anti-vaxxer, it's kind of funny, okay? Because you're a bit of a bitch. So, since being vaccinated, I don't know why, there's just been this massive uptake online, on my socials, that I've seen all these people coming out as anti-vax, and I'm kind of like, yeah, cool, whatever. But it has been very entertaining. So I saw someone make this status, and honestly, I don't know why I'm kind of going into it too much, but anyways, there's nothing else to talk about because I can't fucking do anything else. So I'm going to dunk on anti-vaxxers for just a second. And, oh, fuck. I saw this comment, and this person said, what was the status about? Something about, like, how COVID's just the flu and fucking whatever. And this person commented, yeah, man, you're totally right. If there's so many people that are like super sick with Delta and they're dying in hospitals, why aren't the media filming in those hospital beds? Why aren't they filming in the hospital beds, you might ask? Oh, I don't know. Because we're in a fucking global pandemic and the people that are filming are like, yo, dude, I'm getting paid whatever my paycheck is, and that's tight. But I ain't getting paid enough to risk my fucking life and risk getting COVID. Nah, dude. Not for me. So I don't know. Maybe that's why they're not filming in there. And maybe the nurses are like, yo, there's too many fucking people risking their lives already. Just chill. Just don't come in. Oh, man. It's wild to think, and it's wild to think people still think it's a hoax, but it's even more wild seeing, like, there's been a few pieces coming out. New York Times just released a video, actually, about these people who are anti-vax, and they're in the ICU. And so many of them are still like, yeah, nah, my immunity system can probably get it while they've got ventilators and shit on them. And then, I shouldn't laugh, but at the end they were saying, like, 5 days after we filmed this person died of COVID. And I'm like, well, you know, that's Darwinism, really, at its finest. So, anyways, let's move on. Let's move on to a lighter topic. Because obviously we're in lockdown. We've had more time to watch movies, which is great because I fucking love watching movies. I love watching series, and we've been watching a lot. So this could be a segment every week because we actually just finished watching White Lotus, which I won't talk about this week. I might talk about that next week. So maybe this could be like another regular segment. Every week I talk about something else that we've watched. Cool? Anyways. So we watched Two Hands, which is like one of Heath Ledger's first movies. It's got Rose Byrne in it. Oh, great. That's a good soup, you know? And it's a really good movie if you haven't watched it. It's from 1999, something like that. Caitlin's never seen it. And I was like, yep, cool. Let's watch it. So, great movie. We watched it. She loved it. I loved it. But I forgot. I have a fucking story for you, everyone. All right? Strap the fuck in. So, I want to tell you all about my first ever strip club experience. Okay? Welcome to Warwick's first time at a strip club story featuring Two Hands. Now, let's set the scene. The year is 2008, I believe, or 2009. 2009, I believe, okay? 2009. My friends and I are in Sydney partying for my friend's 18th birthday. Now, mind you, okay, this is a very important detail. He's not 18 till midnight. So we were like, let's just chill out. Let's fucking walk around Sydney until midnight and then we'll go hit the clubs. So we're walking down King's Cross, right? And these two dudes out the front of the strip club in King's Cross were like, come into the strip club, come into the strip club. And we're like, nah, like our boy, he's only 17. And they're like, we won't tell anyone. Don't worry about it. Go in. We're like, all right, fuck it. Like, who cares? You know, like, let's just fucking do it. It'd be funny. So we go in. it wouldn't be funny. Sorry, I'm not trying to say that, strip clubs and sex workers are funny. I'm all for it. But, as like a teenager, everything's fucking funny. So we go in, and this guy is like pressuring us to go in. And as we're walking in, there's photos all on the wall from like Heath Ledger and shots of the movie Two Hands. And at the time, I don't think I watched Two Hands at the time, but I knew of the movie because like everyone kind of knew about Heath Ledger. It was just like when he was popping. Oh, was that when he just died? No, I think he was still alive. Anyways, so, but Heath Ledger is like Australian sweetheart, So they push us into the strip club, and they're like, pay at this thing, and they're like, yeah, this is where they filmed Two Hands. I think that's like the only thing going for this place. I'm like, all right, whatever. So first off, the guy was like, it's $10, and we're like, yeah, cool, we can pay that. And then we get to the counter, and he fucking stings us for like $30 or whatever. But you gotta understand, like, I don't think strip clubs were kind of properly regulated as they are now back then. So these dudes were pretty much like mob dudes, whatever fucking gang or whatever they were a part of, and they were very much like, you have to pay this price, and you can't leave even if you don't have the money. So all right, cool. Paid it, didn't want any trouble because they could beat the shit out of us. We go upstairs and we sit down in this like theater with like these just. Do you remember like school assembly and you get like the really shitty like fold out chairs? That's what it was. Or like, at your local CWA hall or whatever. So we're all in these like shitty chairs. This really crappy, dirty old stage. I feel like their thing was like, cool, Two Hands filmed here. We're not going to do anything. People are just going to come to us. I think that was just their whole mentality. So anyways, stripper comes on. She's doing her thing. And we were kind of like, it's not like we weren't into it. We were just kind of like, this is weird because this is like our first ever strip club experience. We didn't know what to expect. And we're just surrounded by like older dudes. Most of them look like seedy kind of characters. And we were just kind of like, oh, fuck. Like, let's just hurry up and wait till this dance is over and we can leave. Because they were like, these dudes were fucking scary. And they were pretty much like, sit here and you're going to sit here and watch this whole show. Anyways, the stripper comes up and she's walking up and down like the aisle thing. My poor friend. One of my friends was sitting at like the end of the aisle, so he had like a perfect view of down the aisle. Anyways, the girl comes up and she's dancing all sexy on him, and like come on, man, we're kids. Everything's funny, so we're there just like giggling and trying not to burst out laughing because we were finding this whole thing really funny, and B, scary as fuck because we were like, man, if we embarrass this girl, these dudes are gonna fucking kill us. So we're trying to be as cool as we can, whilst also like it was kind of like the thing where you're embarrassed and you just look straight forward and you're just giggling and like everyone's like kind of laughing around you, but you're like, if I look at this person next to me, it's a wrap. I'm gonna burst out laughing and we're all gonna be fucked. That's all we did. Anyways, the girl comes up to him and she's dancing all over him and like kind of giving like a lap dance. Mind you, didn't know this, but my friend was closeted at the time, so batting for the other team. So he was also super uncomfortable about the whole situation. And I don't know why she did this, because I've been to a bunch of strip clubs since this moment and I've never seen this happen again. But she pulled down like the front of her panties and pulled out some pubes and put it on his head. I shit you not, she did this, and we lost it. We were laughing so fucking hard, and the dudes basically grabbed us and threw us out of the club, and we were like in tears. We just couldn't believe that happened. But I was thinking to myself, that happened 10 years ago now, and I'm like, why did she put pubes on my friend's head? In what world is that like a sexy thing? Is that a kink that I don't know about? Anyways, maybe it's like a thing where like dudes like getting locks of hairs off girls and something like that. Anyways, we got booted and then again waited around till midnight and then hit the clubs, and yeah, that was a wild fucking night. So, man. All right, let's talking about high school things. I'm sorry. I was just reading my notes. I'm very lazy about this. Talking about high school life. As I mentioned before, it's been over 10 years now. I think it's been 12 years since I graduated high school now. I'm just going to go on the record and say this. If you ever see me on social media standing in front of an empty lot, like taking a photo of me and my wife and in front of an empty lot with the caption, "Just put down the concrete slab," just fucking kill me, fucking end me. Because every dickhead that I went to school with that I absolutely demise? I guess that's a word. Everyone from school that I fucking hated is that person, I know it's kind of more prevalent here in the city because there's more development happens, but my hometown is currently being developed like fucking crazy. So there's all these new land pots going up or whatever. But yeah, everyone that I went to school with that I hated is that person, and I don't want to be that person, just, oh yeah. Is that the Australian dream now? Just buying an empty lot and buying a catalogue home, and every one of those homes look the fucking same. There's no yard, your gutters are touching, so if there's a fire, you're all fucked. Anyways, that's just that was a bit of a sidebar. But yes, everyone that I went to school with that I was not a fan of is that type of person. And yeah, I'm good. I'm actually happy renting for the rest of my life. I don't want to buy a place. My aunt actually rented her whole life, bought a house, but she sadly didn't get to move into it before she passed. But it was just like that kind of showed me, because she lived a crazy life as well. She traveled the world fucking so many times over. She was always overseas, just always. And I was like, no, I aspire to that instead of, drowning in debt with a mortgage for 30 fucking years. So let's move on to music hour. Or should we get into why are you the way that you are? All right, let's do it. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. I fucked up my notes. Let's quickly touch on this, and then we'll go into the final segment of the show, which is why are you the way that you are. So, Turnstile released their new EP, their new album. Fucking incredible. If you are a fan of punk, hardcore music, or just art in general, listen to Turnstile. Go on and watch Love Connection on YouTube. Incredible and super inspiring, and that shit's making me really excited to do music videos again. Actually, I'd be really keen to do music videos because that's really pushing me to be like, oh yeah, you can do some really cool concepts with music videos. Anyways, they are super creative group. I've been a fan of Turnstile for a while. Actually, the first time I saw Turnstile was in 2014. It was the first time I've ever heard of them, actually. I was in Texas for South by Southwest, and they were playing like a pop-up show. If you don't know how South by Southwest works, it's basically they shut down the downtown Austin, and there's pretty much every bar, empty lot, it becomes like a stage, and all the shows are free. That year that I was there, Earl Sweatshirt was playing a show as well, and so it's free, but you have to wait in line. It's like a one in, one out type of situation. So if you want to go see someone, you have to line up for hours. So with Earl Sweatshirt, so many kids were trying to get in. I remember like all these kids like pretty much just rushed the security guards and the fences and they're all climbing over because I think it was like an Odd Future pop-up thing as well. Anyways, that was crazy because like I think Taylor Swift or Katy Perry was playing like one of the big stage that year. I don't know I can't remember how it works so much because it was so long ago, but anyways, I was working with Comeback Kid. I was doing some video work with them, and the band that was playing before them was Turnstile. And I didn't have to wait in this line because I was like with the band. So I was kind of like went in, and as I'm waiting, I'm watching them play, and I'm like, fuck, this band is crazy, and kids are going nuts for them. And I've kind of been a fan of them ever since because they have this real positive energy about them. They're not like this cool guy, tough, hardcore band. You know, they're just there to have fun, and I totally love and respect that. So anyways, they played their first show in like fucking forever the other day. It was like a free show in Baltimore, and you might have seen the video around. If not, like, go look it up because it's fucking nuts. Like the amount of kids that were there because it's a free show, and two, the amount of fucking stage diving and shit was going on. I was like, what? I was like, how? Like, we're in lockdown and that's happening on the other side of the world. So Kayla and I were watching it, and we were just blown away. And like, well, the fact that that's probably going to be our last in a few weeks when we move, because we're moving in just over 8 weeks now, which is fucking nuts. But yeah, it was really cool to see that with the stage diving. I'm probably going to put a clip up while I'm talking about it. But basically, I was supposed to talk about this segment before I get into my vax segment, so that's why I kind of jumbled them around. Anyways, let's get into the last segment of the show, which is why are you the way that you are? Now, let's talk about it. Jake Paul fight that just happened yesterday, or the other day by the time I release this. So, yeah, Jake Paul fucking sucks, you know, and that fight was shit. It was funny seeing Jake Paul get hit pretty bad and fall into the ropes. Mind you, that would have been the KO right there if he just went in and just, you know, but he didn't. So, but it was funny that moment because Dave Chappelle is in the background and he's losing his fucking mind because Jake Paul just got walloped. Anyways, I'm not talking about that fight. There was another fight that you might have seen. You might have seen this circulated, but there was a fight happening in the stands. Now, this happens at basically every fight. Like UFC boxing, there's always dickheads that want to square up in the stands and fight each other. And that's probably why I never want to go see a fight live. Like, I'd love to see, you know, a boxing match in real life. But I just know that there's all these, like, you know, meathead dudes that just want to fight. And I'm like, I don't want to be part of that, man. I'm here, I'm paying to watch them fight in the ring professionally, not these bozos that think that the next Conor McGregor. Anyways, so the funny thing is because Jake Paul's audience are like children still. They're just like these like kids, white kids from the suburbs that think they're street. They think they're tough because they listen to Kendrick Lamar, or actually they probably don't even listen to Kendrick. They probably listen to Drake and they think, oh yeah, you know, I'm gangster like Drake, even though Drake probably got his whole career handed to him because he's been famous his whole life, but that's another story for another time, folks. Yeah, see, I'm just firing shots now. Because I've, you know, since lockdown, I just don't give a fuck anymore, and that's my opinion. So, you know, I'm just waiting all the Drake fans to cancel me. Anyways, yeah, so these kids probably think they're cool and they're tough because they're like, wow, Jake Paul is fighting, and I want to be a fighter as well. And I'm sorry, but that's not for. Oh, I'm gonna be that person. But from someone that's been training, fighting. No, there is so much that goes into the sport, and it's so much more in depth. Like, sparring is the most mentally and physically taxing thing I've ever done. Okay, so these kids watch these boxing fights, and I think, yeah, I can do that. I can be tough. So this fight happened between basically these Jake Paul fans and people that just weren't Jake Paul fans at all. Because you know they're like my age, but. Typical white kids, and I want to play it for you, okay? So let's play this clip, okay? So straight off the bat, I don't know what this altercation is about, but basically these kids from the suburbs just get shoved, and they're like, oh yeah, let's start this fight. But the thing is, right, they're not ready to fight. They're just yelling at the other guy. So just bop. Just straight off, the kid's just leaving himself wide open, and he's got walloped in the face, and then a whole fight breaks out. Now, I know this is more like a visual thing, so I'm trying to explain it for my audio listeners, but if you just want to jump over to the YouTube segment, please do, because, you know, you can watch along with me. So, this kid just cops a right straight to the jaw and basically gets KO'd. And then the other friend tries to jump in. But these dudes, they're like my age. And these kids are probably like 19 years old. So it's basically like a Jake Paul fight happening in the stands. Just, you know, that's probably like the undercard, like the amateur fight happening there. You just pay a $2 hot dog entry fee and you can watch this fight. So, anyways, these two dudes are fighting, and oh god, you can tell that they just want to be tough. They don't actually know how to fight. This is just me critiquing a street fight now. But there's this moment where the other guy, like one of the other dude with this backwards cap, just jumps in and just starts walloping this other kid as well. Oh my god, this is entertaining. And then there's this guy in the background just going, fuck him up. Anyways, and then the kids like straight away back off because they're like, oh shit, I've actually never been in a fight before, and getting punched in the face actually hurts. And then the real hero of this situation, this cop, just baby handles this fucking kid. He grabs one of the kids by his belt on the back of his shorts and just starts pulling him up. It's just been like, you're just being baby handled by this cop, and fuck, that's the funniest thing. It's kind of like that meme of like the anti-masker who was trying to pick a fight in a grocery store, and the kids were like, no dad, we don't want anything to do with this, and one of the kids picks up their dad and carries him out of the store. This is that moment. Anyways, then the fight kind of just like gets broken up or whatever. But oh man, that's see, this is what happens when people from, you know, when people just want to be tough. Just don't be that person, you know? Like, okay, we get it, you know, you're from the suburbs, you got everything handed to you your whole life, and now you're angry because, you know, your parents don't want to give you the new iPhone, so you want to pick a fight about that, okay? Oh man. But yeah, just don't. There was actually a pre-fight video which is also circulating around of Jake Paul visiting his family's home, and he's like, his whole thing is like, yeah man, I'm from the trenches, and they go to this house and it's like a fucking 2-story 5-bedroom house. It's like, what neighborhood are you from? You know, this is, anyways, I could go on about that for a while, but I won't, because it's coming to the end of the podcast, and I don't want to go into it. So that was the first segment of Why Are You the Way That You Are. It was a little rusty. You know, I did only just think of this this morning, and I'm still kind of trying to grasp what day it is and everything like that, so please forgive me. But yeah, that was the first segment of Why Are You the Way That You Are. Now, again, the email is matesratespod@gmail.com. I hope I plugged that at the start. I'm pretty sure I said it at the start. If not, if the 2 people listening to this at the end, that's the email. And yeah, please send through. It can be anything, okay? It can be any format: video, photo, text. Give me some level of context as well, because I, like, for example, this fight. What the fuck was that? This fight, I don't know the context of it, so I don't know what the best setup would have been for that. So, yeah, they'll send through your stories or your clips that you've seen, and let's just have a laugh. You know, I've got no ill intent to these kids. They probably learnt their fucking lesson though, and that is actually the lesson for the day. You know, if you've never had your ass handed to you, you haven't learned your lesson. You know, I remember, and I'm going to wrap this up. Quick little story. I remember I was a kid because I was like 17 at the time. I was like a real obnoxious kind of kid, outspoken, because I wanted to be cool and fit in because I was a fucking loser growing up. And surprise, I'm almost 30 and still a fucking loser. So I was obnoxious, and I remember driving one time with some friends in Sydney. I stick my head out the window and said something to a car or like yelled at them, did something stupid. I can't remember. Pull up a set of lights. Next thing, and I'm just laughing about it. Next thing you know, my car door opens and there's big fucking dudes. And this guy just is like, "Are you being a cheeky cunt?" And I was like, "What?" And then he just, bap, just right in the fucking face. Boy, did that shut me up real quick. Okay, there's been other instances where I've had my ass handed to me as well, not from being obnoxious, just from certain environments that I was in. But that was the first time that I was like, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't be as obnoxious as I am. You know, maybe I should just dial it back and just let people live their life and just be weird with my friends and just keep it within that circle and not bringing other people into it. So that's your lesson. Like, you know, I feel like everyone needs to get their ass handed to them, and that's it. That's the name of this podcast. What is like, get your ass kicked. Life lessons from someone that got their ass kicked. That's probably too long. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up now. So thank you so much for listening to another episode. This has been episode 30 of the Mates Rates podcast. Again, if you're listening to this on iTunes, give me a 5-star rating. If you're listening on Spotify, cool, good for you. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you are now watching these clips on social media, I would really appreciate it if you liked, commented, shared them around. If you want to give this podcast out to more people, because I really want to try and grow this. I've decided that maybe YouTube isn't my thing. Maybe I don't really want to be like a YouTuber type of person, but I really love this podcast. I'm going to give this a red hot fucking crack. So if you do those things for me, I'd appreciate it. Appreciate you. Have a good fucking week, and I'll see you all next week. Okay? All right. Peace, love. See you guys later.